welcome to another episode of the Baker's Punk Podcast. How you going? I'm Sean the Baker, and this is episode number 54. Today, we catch up with Micka, the drummer of the band No Quarter. They're another band that I've sort of listened to once. I've heard a song and then completely not followed up. It's a little bit like Knife Hands. I sort of said that about them. Another Australian band that blows me away that there's so many good Australian bands that are just almost underground, I suppose. This is a great chat. We chat about everything from, geez, how the band started. Micka's been in the band for almost 20 years, and we go on about a whole heap of stuff like festivals and stuff like that and the changing of music. And we probably talk about one of my most loved subjects, and that is rum. So we're going to kick this episode off with a song called, what's it called? The Night We Won't Forget, off their latest album, Fear and Loathing, here on the Baker's Punk Podcast.
Drink, it's time for all of us to get on the piss. Let it out and get drunk as you fucking like. The music's thumping as we tear into the night. Here we go, once again. Hanging at the punk rock show with all of our friends. Back to the bar with cash in hand. Send the shots down until it's hard to scan. Before you know it, you struggle to wake up. Another fist hangover while your eyes and blind stay shut. Your head the nights you can't remember are the ones you won't forget. At first all that you recall is just feeling sick. For some of us the memories are all we have left. I took for granted all the times that we drank right through the night. I raise my glasses, I stare up at you in the sky. Could always trust that you'd be there. Fire in your eyes, shit you never had a care. You're smiling at the room, I swear. You burn the bright lights, we miss you red. Before you know it, you struggle to wake up. Another big hangover while your eyes and blind stay shut. Your head is spinning, you smile with no regrets. The nights you can't remember are the ones you won't forget.
That was No Quarter with their song "The Nights We Won't Forget," and joining me from the band right now is Micka. Micka, welcome to the Baker's Punk Podcast.
Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, the one thing I love about what I've done in this podcast, well, since I've started this podcast, is finding new bands, and it blows my mind when I find a band like you guys here in Australia. So, give me a location and where's the report?
Yeah, so we're in Hunter Valley. Well, most of us are.
Yep.
Our singer actually lives in Brisbane.
Yep.
which is, I guess, like 1,000 kilometers north than the rest of
So
us.
so where's Hunter Valley? Because I actually got asked to do a wedding there once.
Yeah, it is.
Give me
Well,
a pin.
yeah, I live at Greta, which is 45 minutes west of Newcastle,
Yep.
and Maitland, Greta, Singleton, all that, Curry, and all that. Like that's the start of the Hunter Valley.
Oh,
So
okay. Yep.
Newcastle's, these days probably hour and a half to 2 hours north of Sydney.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I've never got there. I'd actually the first time I ever come to Australia, I come here just to go for a surf. So I was going to go Port Macquarie, Newcastle. I was going to make way up the coast from Sydney, and I didn't get as far. I only got as far as Sydney.
Yeah, right. Well, you missed some good beaches if you only got as
Yeah,
far north of Sydney.
I ended up getting a job after like 2 days.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, well, that was me fucked. And then I went back home to New Zealand. So a bit of a waste of time, but that was all right. That was all
Yeah,
right.
no, some good beaches around, like Newey Beach, Nobby's Beach here, where the lighthouse is really nice. I
Yeah,
go
I've
and there
heard
with
it.
the kids and that.
I've heard about Nobbies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. And then like the further up the coast you go, the nicer it gets. But not to say that there's not some beautiful spots on the south coast as well. It's just the water gets too fucking cold down there.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? It does. But it's not as cold. It's not as cold as New Zealand. I mean,
No,
I was home in April and I jumped in the water and I was like, oh, and I was just like the old crampy little fingers.
man, I went to New Zealand last. Oh, it was exactly a year ago this week. We were over there for a wedding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Ice
and
blocks, mate.
yeah, I had a big jacket on. I had like one of those neck things that you can pull up over half your
Oh,
face.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hated the cold. It's a beautiful spot. We went to Queenstown for the week.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, but yeah, it's too cold for me.
Yeah. That's the thing about New Zealand. See, I love the New Zealand cold. Like I can just wear boardy, like shorts and a jumper, like a nice thing and a beanie. I'm happy. But here in West Australia, if it gets cold, I'm shitty. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah,
it.
right.
I'm like I like get cold knees. I'm like, oh, this is shit. Because
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm used to, it's a different cold.
Yeah, me wife said the same thing. She's like, but
Yeah.
it was a different cold. It was like
It's
a
a
crispy,
different
nice
cold.
cold. I'm
Yeah,
like,
see, that's what I'm like. I love that cold, but that's what I was
yeah,
brought up on. So,
yeah.
hey, Mick, we always start with how did you get into this genre of music?
I heard in must have been early 97. I heard Prisoner of Society by The Living End
Yep.
and Damn It by Blink 182 on the X Games CD from that year.
Yep.
I then went out and bought those two albums, Dude Ranch and the self-titled album by Living End. And then I went from there to No Effects and Epitaph and Pennywise and Fat Records and just kept going down the hole.
Snowballs, doesn't it? Just keeps going.
Yeah. So that's how I started. Those two. So I was probably a bit later than some of the other people my age. Like I'm 40
Yep.
this year, and I
Yep.
think by 90, well, most of the people my age by 96, 97 were into it. So I must have been early 97. I think I was definitely high school. So
Yep. And
yeah.
and you're the drummer in the band. Were you playing drums before you found this music?
No, so
Oh,
I
okay.
I heard the music. I then wanted to play guitar and learned guitar
Uh,
for ages.
I think everyone wants to learn guitar because
Yeah.
of the yeah.
I wanted to learn drums, but mum and dad were like, "No, it's too noisy." So I learned guitar instead. Played that for ages. Still play. I play the guitar probably more than I play the drums now. But
Okay.
at the time I was in high school, in a high school band, and our drummer moved away, and my brother had a drum kit and he never played. So I then learnt the drums, and then it just so happened that I joined No Quarter as a drummer. And even though I still write a lot of the guitar music and stuff, I've just always been a drummer in any band that I've been in, like No Quarter and stuff. So
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. Because you join No Quarter 2005? Is that about correct?
yeah, 2005. Yeah.
Well, so how long you been playing the drums for before you
I
started?
I started playing the drums in, it must have been around about 2003, I think.
So in 2 years, you could play the drums that good.
Yeah, look, I don't know if I was that good when I joined No Quarter. I feel like I'm half decent now.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
There's a lot better drummers than me in even Newcastle. Like, I reckon so many better drummers than me who probably don't get the opportunity to play in bands and do stuff like But yeah, when I joined No Quarter, I was very green. I actually tried out as a singer or a drummer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they lost the singer left, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Yep.
did. And so Chris, who now sings, he was the original drummer,
Oh,
and
okay. Yep.
so whatever I didn't do, he was going to do because he could sing also.
Yep.
And yeah, he's the singer, which was by far turned out better because I couldn't sing that fucking good either. And he's really good at being a front man. I just
Yeah.
wanted to be in a band, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I became the drummer, and yeah, playing in a band that long has definitely made me a better drummer than I was back then. Like
Wow.
I could get the job done back then, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's almost 20 years.
yeah. Well, we had the anniversary, 20th anniversary for the band last year. We did a show and we got some old members back and played some songs with them
Yeah.
and whatnot. So it's 20 years since the band started last year, and
Yep.
20 years since I've been in the band next year. So
Wow. So you're gonna do
long
a
time.
like a Australian tour because it's your time?
Yeah, maybe. I just drag them around and play the songs that we played when I joined.
Yeah. I so I like, as I said, I'd actually found you guys a little while ago, and it's one of those bands where you hear the song and I go, oh man, that's sick, but I don't follow it up.
Yeah.
And when you messaged me, I was like, oh, I've heard of that band. And I went look, and I was like, oh yes, I know this band. I've
Yeah.
heard this song. It's crazy in this society and the way we live these days is that I haven't heard much of you guys pre this podcast. And and I've been living in Australia now for what 25 years nearly.
Yeah.
Is it the fact is it the fact that you are a band that maybe like orientated around work and stuff like that and not so much on the road?
Yeah, I think so. Like, and we had like we did it full on in the early days from 03 till probably 09. We were
Yep.
the young guys without kids and weren't married, and we were gigging in Newcastle lots and Sydney and trekking around and doing all that sort of stuff. And then Chris moved to Brisbane, and the guys in the band at the time needed a bit of a break, so we sort of got together and recorded an EP, but we didn't really know if we're going to be doing shows, and we released that in 2010. And I still stayed really good mates with Chris. Like, me and him are probably, we're best mates. Like, so we kept in touch all through those years and started recording again. I think it was around 2013.
Yep.
2014. So we had a good break in the middle where we just kind of wrote songs and hung out and didn't do a lot of live stuff. And we recorded that album at the time, which took a few years for a few different reasons. And then since we released that Freedom album in 2017 is when it's sort of got busy for us.
Do you remember when, like every other punk band in your scene, played to 40 people and friends, playing to the punkies from other bands?
In the first 3 years before COVID, we did a lot of shows and got back into it again. But since COVID and then since, a couple of the other boys in the band have had kids and stuff, we've kind of got to space things out a bit more.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, because we're not a band who's like, we're predominantly from near Newcastle, but we play in Newcastle like twice a year. We generally play more shows away in
Oh,
Queensland
okay.
or Perth. We've been to Perth a few times and
Yeah,
Melbourne,
well.
and we did Japan last year. Like,
Oh,
so I think it's got to do with that. But I also think, in saying that, on the flip side, I don't think we're in a position in our lives where we could gig more than we do at
full
times. Like,
time. Yeah.
as I said, work, kids, family.
Yep.
You got to balance it out. And I think that's why it still does work for all of us. Like, we're all still really keen because you get that little break between all our gig weekends and stuff. So,
Yeah. And Mick, I do hear that a lot where bands these days it's a very rarity that they get to go away because they have to organize everyone,
yeah,
so it all matches, or else it just does not work. And with the singer living in Brizzy,
yeah,
it's again, well, as I always say, there's so many bands out there that they're all in different parts of the world, and they seem to somehow
yeah.
make it
And I,
work.
I think that, as I said, I think that distance helps make it work. You don't get burnt out.
Yeah.
Us four music boys still get together and write and practice if we need to. And even that's hard. Like, because where we are, Hunter Valley, a lot of mines and stuff, shift workers. Josh is in construction. Paul does really funny shifts with his cleaning stuff. And so lining up four people is hard. Lining up, if Chris was down here, lining up a fifth person would be even
Yeah.
harder. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, it just gets hard.
Yep. So just going to your albums here. Lodestar
Yeah.
in 2010, was there nothing before then?
Yeah, we did an EP in 2005.
Yep.
The end of the year that I joined, it was there was a demo in '04. We did a first proper EP in 2005, which we recently added to Spotify and stuff as part of
I
our.
I I was going to ask that. Was that the
Yeah,
the No Frills?
yeah, it's on there. No Frills was
Yeah.
just like a heap of B-sides and
B-sides and
covers and old stuff that we
yeah.
needed to. So we sort of added that to Spotify within that.
Yep.
And then, yeah, Lodestar was 2010, which was, I think that was the point of the band where musically and definitely recording wise, everything started to click for us. Like, you listen to No More Guns, and like, I still love it for what it is. It was a pretty fun time of our lives, but probably 4 of the 7 songs are good and 3 are a bit rough. And then,
Yeah.
Lodestar, it was all recorded better and the songs were better and like that growth thing. So I think the point where people sort of started really getting interested and listening to our stuff on a regular basis was the Lodestar EP. So
Yeah. The when and who does most of the writing in the band? You was
yeah, I've obviously, before I joined the band, they had a heap of songs the old guitar player wrote, Matt and Cameron, the singer at the time. When I joined, I sort of wrote a little bit, and then leading into Lodestar, I wrote probably 2 or 3 songs, and then for the Freedom album, because the band had sort of had that gap I spoke about earlier,
yep.
the reason that got off the ground is because I was going to visit Chris on a holiday at one stage with my family, and we just got drunk and played acoustic guitar till like 4 in the fucking morning. And I was like, man, I've got the music for 7 songs. Like, let's get together
That
and do an EP for shits and giggles. And he went, well, nah, if we're going to do that, let's record the 7 new ones and then some 5 old ones that were either not recorded or we weren't happy with or whatever.
yep.
So that's how it became the album. So like, I usually write the music, and at that stage I wrote pretty much all the music and then help with Chris. Like, he writes all the lyrical melodies. Like,
Yeah, okay, yep.
even if I've got a rough idea, he'll change it and make it way better than any of my melodies have ever been. And the words and stuff. And then like Darcy, our current guitar player now, him, Paul, and Josh all joined around. Josh and Paul were a little bit after Darcy, but Darcy sort of came in around 2015.
Okay,
So,
yep.
and he starts adding his guitar parts on top of mine. and to the point where now on the last album he wrote 2 whole songs himself musically.
Yep.
He writes a lot of the guitar solo work with Paul, because I can't write solos for shit. And Paul, like on the last album, he had songs that he'd written from scratch as well. So it's kind of, there was a time when I was writing a fair bit, and even now, like I still write like if we do an album with 14 songs, like 7 of them will be the basis of mine, but we all add. Like
Yep.
we're not the type of band where someone will write a song and go, this is the song. Like I'll have a
Yeah.
song and I go,
Yep.
this is what I got, and Darcy will go, well, I can add this and it'll be better, and then someone
Yep.
will go, well, we need to take that bit out, and we usually come up with what we want to write about, and someone will have lyric ideas, and it's kind of all of us get there in the end. It's just, I think I have ADHD, so
Yep.
when I'm focused on something, I just will go and spend hours and hours doing the same shit where other people get tired of it.
Yeah.
So I just think naturally that helps me write more than the others. It's not
Yep.
that I'm trying to be the main songwriter or any garbage like that. I just think
Yeah.
I have the thing in my brain that makes me write more.
That makes you get into it. But I mean, and that's like a lot to people say is that someone starts off with a skeleton and everyone sort of puts their own bits in, and then you end up with your final product. How are you guys recording? Because one thing I really, really love is when I find a band and I come across a band is I go to the start and I listen to it all and go to their albums, and just every single album, I think there's not one that I've gone, oh, that's got worse.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the aim of the game, I guess. Like,
yep. So let's start at Lone Star. Like Lone Star, how was the recording process then different compared to the latest album?
Yeah, heaps different. We did Lodestar entirely in a studio in Newcastle.
Yep.
So a guy called Heath Rowley, who's a singer from Hack the Mainframe, recorded all that.
Yep.
And we went in and did drums, excuse me, and went away, and then went back in a couple of weekends' time and started doing bass and guitars, and then Chris would fly down and do vocals. So we did that entirely in a studio. Freedom we did all at my house, and we started with one guy who was recording here, but halfway through we sort of lost touch with him, and then got what we could back of the recordings, but they were pretty messy. We pretty much had to record it twice. Okay. And by that stage, Darcy had joined the band, and he now does all our recording and mixing and stuff. Every time we do stuff, he's learnt more and more, and he's so good at it. So he recorded 99% of Freedom, and we do guitars and vocals and everything at my house using his recording rig.
Yep.
And then with the last album, Fear and Loathing, we went to a studio in Newcastle and did me drums over a weekend, and then we did guitars and bass and vocals all at my house, and then we went and reamped the bass and guitars at the same studio in Newcastle through real amps and stuff.
Yeah, wow.
So that way we could, by recording all the guitars and bass here, so I'm lucky I've got a ridiculously supportive wife and kids. So when the band come here for a weekend and we're drinking for 3 days and writing and recording, they're part of it. Like the girls will come in and, you know, listen to us write songs and all that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shit. Yeah. So, so we did all that here, and doing that here just means that, like, we can record the guitars and listen to them, and Darcy can edit them, and if we need to, we can redo them and get all that bit right without going to a studio and spending a whole day and then coming away and going, oh, we need to redo that, like time and money and things like that. And then the beauty, I think, of recording a clean guitar track these days is that you can get that right, and then you can reamp it through an amp at a studio and then go away. But if it doesn't sound right, you just go and reamp it again. Like, you're not stuck with a set tone that came out of the amp on that certain day.
Yep.
So we do all that. All our recordings done ourselves now, like, which is definitely beneficial cost-wise, and I think input-wise. You sort of a bit more in control of your own project, I guess.
You question why we're here. You need a reason to live. The country they won't take from you, they only ever give. You ask why you can't see, and they slowly draw you in. Manipulation turns to fear, your control they slip right in. And he said, come take my hand, set yourself free. Confess your sins you needed. Before you can blink it, we're down on your knees. You're blessed with a dirty secret. You followed every way, and fashion always fine. You listened to their message, you began to see the light. They asked you to believe in the power from within. 3 Hail Marys, some cheap wine, and another cheeky grin while he said, come take my hand, set yourself free. Confess your sins you needed. Before you can blink it, we're down on your knees. You're blessed with a dirty secret. Children of the faith, we don't need what you say. You don't own us anyway.
I think I'm finding more and more bands DIY. There's not a lot these days that, I suppose unless they're the big guys that have all this money just to waste because yourselves, there's you haven't had a record label along the way.
Well, so the last Freedom and Fear and Loathing were released by Melodic Punk Style they're based in Europe.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And he's been super supportive of us. He heard our Lodestar EP back in, I think he reached out to me in 2012, I think it was, and he wanted to re-release it for us. He loved it. And then it was that stage I sort of said, I think we might be recording some new songs in the future. And he said, if you do, reach out to me. And when we got to that point in 2014 with Freedom, I touched base with him again and sent him some demos. And he was like, yep, I'd love to release this for you.
Yeah. Nice.
And he put the money into at the time. He sent us like 200 CDs and helped with a heap of promo. And then, we did a vinyl run with him in that. And then it got to the time where we were ready to do Fear and Loathing. And we reached out to him again. And he was like, yep, absolutely. Like it wasn't even a second thought. So, I mean, we had spoke to some labels in Australia.
Yeah.
Who I guess at the time didn't think we were quite suited to them. We spoke to one that said we were a bit too metal to be on a punk label, which
really? Okay.
which was pretty funny. But yeah, Peter from Melodic Punk was straight away was just like, yes, yeah. I'd love to have you. Let's do it again. And again, he sent us over. It was only 100 CDs this time, but CD sales have changed in that 5 years.
Yeah.
Like we sold all our Freedom CDs and we've sort of still got some Fear and Loathing CDs left, but our Fear and Loathing digital stuff is heaps higher than Freedom.
Skyrocket, yeah.
And our Fear and Loathing vinyls. So he sent us a run of vinyls and we sold, I think we sold out of the first run and we were halfway through the second run that we got. So it's definitely a change in that regard. But yeah, so we're kind of with melodic punk style, and they've
Yep.
treated us really well. And
Yeah, awesome.
yeah,
I
it's been good.
and that's the weird part about today is how backwards we've gone back to vinyl.
Yeah,
Back to records. It's just it's crazy, isn't it?
it's. I never thought I'd see the day, but I've
I
still got all my old CDs in the garage.
yeah, I'm the same.
Hundreds of
All
them.
my CDs are all in the shed.
Yeah, I
I
refuse to throw them out because I want to
no,
display them in me.
definitely.
I want to display them in my bar one day and
Yeah.
have a CD player and have it like when people come over for a beer, you literally pull a CD out and play it. Like I don't know. I'm probably stuck in the past a bit, but
No, I agree because I even have CDs in my car still.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
even on the way home yesterday, I had a CD going. Which
yeah,
I've it was actually heavy petting zoo when it's August the 8th today. So I got to do a post of that after this podcast. But yeah, the oh, that's one of my favorite NoFX albums.
yeah,
I still don't know why Fat Mike doesn't like it, but anyway.
yeah.
Hey so um so Chris one of the only original left?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. I'd say there was a few people that were in before him in the like super early days of the
Oh,
bit.
okay.
When you
Yeah.
talk to like, so I'm actually married to Kira, my wife. She was the sister of Matt and Dan, the original bass player and guitar player.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And there was a few people in the band before when they were just sort of getting off the ground and having tryouts and stuff.
Yep.
But if you talk to all them, they all consider the original lineup to be Chris is the drummer, Matt was the guitar player, Dan was the bassist, and Cameron was the singer.
Yep.
And then there was a guy called Paris who joined as the second guitarist not long after that. And then, so that was like March 2003, I think. So, and
Yep.
that's like
So
the kind of time when it became
yeah.
legit.
So they started as a four piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's crazy how a lot of four piece go. Well, I see a lot of three piece bands these days, and then not so many four piece. I see more
Yeah.
five pieces than I do see four pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Especially in our genre.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy, eh? I do have a co-host. He has met you before. His name's Watto, and he's in a band called Dead Heat, and he said he plays with
Ha
you know Watto. You know I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, he's
I
got
do. Yeah.
yeah. He doesn't come and do interviews, but he just started. And I asked him today. I said, "Is there anything you want me to ask you?" He goes, "Nah." He said, "But we did play with him at some festival. What festival was it?"
Yeah, it's called Where We Belong. It was up just north of Brisbane. It was
Yeah,
such a good day.
yeah.
Such a good day.
Yeah. And he said
Yep.
to me, he goes, "Oh, um, no chord to sounded like thunder." And I was like, "Are you saying they sound like shit?" I asked him that, and he goes, No, just fucking awesome, all right?" Like,
Yeah.
I love stirring him up, eh?
Yeah, he's a good dude. I had a good chat with him. We're gonna do he asked us up there to do a gig in I think it was October, but we were busy with stuff down here. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
try and line up something with him up his way
yeah,
early next year. So
yeah.
yeah.
He's an absolute lad. And as I said, he's only been on, I think, three podcasts, but he's now my co-host. So we do shows where we just do just like new releases and have a chat
Yeah.
about shit. And but no, he's a good egg, and I thought, oh, I better bring up that because he'll be like, oh, you said that, I sound like shit.
Yeah, no, it was a cool stage. It was a big open outdoor stage and it was a really good PA and
Yeah,
such a good vibe. And the chick that was the driving force behind it, Breezer,
yeah,
from Breezer Beers and Bands, she did an amazing job and all the bands got along. And yeah, my snare drum that day was massive. It sounded amazing. So
yeah,
yeah, it was
yeah,
a good day.
yeah. So what have we got planned? For no quarter or quarter. Have we got anything on the go? Have you got any releases about coming? Are you recording? Or are you just writing at the moment? Are you just
Yeah,
writing?
we're kind of there's some demos floating about.
Yep.
We're definitely writing. I think we were after we finished Fear and Loathing, we were sort of all off riding a bit. We just wanted to play some shows, and we've had some really good shows in that time.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't think you can ever sort of look forward and go, right, we're going to start writing at this point. Like it just kind of happens naturally.
Yeah.
So I've got about seven, the bones of about 7 songs written. I think Darcy has, which is Lachlan, the other guitar, one of the guitar players, he's got 3 or 4 written. I know Paul has bits and pieces of probably 4 or so written. So it's definitely all starting to come together to the point where we'll probably get together by the time we get our stuff for this year out of the way and get together early next year. We'll start putting the jigsaw puzzle together,
Yep.
doing some proper demos, and go from there. But yeah, that's exciting because like recording's fun as shit. So I mean, it does.
Well,
There are
it does
parts of
sound
it
like
that
shit. It does sound like fun. You sit around and drink all day.
yeah, some parts of it aren't fun, but hearing a riff that you write in your lounge room become a song is always something
Oh,
special. So I'm
yep.
excited. I think we learn a bit in Fear and Loathing, so it'll probably be smoother again. Like I feel like every
Oh,
time we've recorded, it's got smoother. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. As I said, I've listened to it from the start and went my way up, and that Fear and Loathing, that's insane.
yeah, I was pretty
That
proud of that one.
that
So
is an insane album, man. I was just like,
thank you.
whoa, what the hell? Where the hell
Yeah,
has I
thank you.
been? I'm always like, where the hell have I been?
Yeah,
Because I started this podcast because I sort of got lost, and I couldn't do what I loved doing because I was stuck at a computer editing photos all the time, and it was just amazing that there was just that many bands out there that I'd never heard. I was like,
oh
and I think I got like most people, and a good mate once says, yeah, you have your family of bands like your Fat Records, your Epitaphs, and all that. You have those bands that you just listen to constantly. You need something else to get away. How do you bring in the other bands that you find? And it wasn't until I started this, and I was just like, man, it's endless. It's
yeah,
literally an endless road.
yeah. Australia's really lucky. Like there's a really good music scene in Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne and like Perth. Like we've been to Perth twice, and it's one of my favorite places to play over there. It's you just get treated so good over there compared to some places on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they're out there. You just got to be in the know, I guess. Like and then I know I get guilty of it sometimes myself. I get stuck in the rut of listening to just Lagwagon or Strung
Yeah.
Out or Pennywise or
Yeah.
and then I force myself to go, no, I need to see what new music come out this
Yeah.
year and whatnot.
Yeah.
And try and do like a top 15 releases at the end of every year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of good bands in Australia that most people never hear of because they never take that next step.
Truck stop food makes me happy. I'm so fucking far from home. I miss my bed and miss my family. Always laughing yet so alone. Highways are endless. These bathrooms all smell like piss. Don't wanna work tomorrow. Just wanna call in sick. We'll do all of this again. No longer drunken kids with dreams in our heads. It's tiny punk diapers, and sleeping on the floor. The ringing in my ears calls me like the snores. It's long drives and sunsets and racing to make flights. More long distance phone calls, always sleepless nights. The open road will drive. The rules do not apply. We'll do all of this again. No longer drunken kids with dreams in our heads. We'll keep on coming. Keep the lights up, we're coming back. We'll keep on coming. To the moon of a broken jack. We'll keep on coming. Might as well get the moon slack. We'll keep on coming. So one's in a parade snack.
Like you said, it's a really good example. when you started doing your podcast, it's not till you really get involved, whether either you're in a band or you're putting on shows or you're going to shows or you're doing podcasts. It's not until you get involved with a part of the scene that you realize how big and how many bands there still are.
It is. It's huge. And I was just about to go there. Actually, was my next question is where do you think the genre is these days? Like compared to I mean, we know the '90s was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've been in this for 20 years next year. How have you seen it change in those 20 years?
Um, it's in a really rough spot at the moment because all the little venues that suit bands our size and whatnot have really struggled post COVID and just money wise and noise restrictions and all that sort of stuff. So what I've noticed a difference is if you used to go to say a town like Newcastle, you'd have 8 pubs on the weekend or venues that were doing live original music,
Yep.
accessible, well promoted, supportive of local bands, cheap. Now it's probably 3 venues, so it gets harder. But in saying that, I think it's probably a lot easier to release music than it ever was back in
Oh,
the day,
okay. Yep.
and get your music out to a lot more
Oh,
people.
yeah. And I think that's the difference today. It's more, you know, you can listen to a song that's released now.
Yeah,
It's instant. There's absolutely zero waiting time anymore.
yeah, and I think like the more you can, like let's be honest, like none of, like we play 1990s style fast skate punk rock,
Yep.
right?
Who
Like that music.
who would you say the band's influences would be?
Yeah, all like as I said before, Strung Out,
Yep.
Lagwagon,
Yep.
Pennywise, Propagandy,
Yep.
all that Fat Rack, Epitaph kind of stuff.
Yep.
Through to your Wilhelm Screams. Chris is more into, back in the day was more into metal like Tool and Metallica.
Oh, okay.
Some heavier sort of stuff like Trivium. Still a lot of guitar driven music that's
Yep.
fast and energetic, right?
Yep.
So like we're not naive. We play a music that went out of style a long time ago. None of us are going to be the next big thing, but way easier to get your music out than it ever used to be. Like it still
Yep.
blows my mind that someone in France will send us a message and be like, I just heard your song, it means this to me. And like we wrote that song in my lounge room one weekend.
Yep.
Like I think that's so good. And that's why it is easy to find a lot of new bands that you generally wouldn't hear about these days, where,
Yep.
20 years ago, that wasn't happening. Like if
Oh
you
well,
didn't see them,
how would I have found you 20 years ago?
yeah, I mean, unless you saw
Anywhere
the
in the world.
band in your
Yeah.
local pub or something,
Yeah, there's no way. It's impossible.
no way.
No.
And unless you saw a CD somewhere, then or saw it on 2003, like Channel V or something like that,
Yeah,
when they
probably.
had
Yeah.
their
Yep.
unearthed and local stuff. Like,
Yep.
yeah, so
Yeah. And it's just like you were saying about that message that you got from, say, a guy in France. I even like when I was listening to Fear and Loathing, I'm just one of these guys that love this music, and I just smiling because
yeah,
I'm just like it's just this is why I love this music. I just hope that regardless of what genre you listen to, that you get that same feeling that I get
yeah,
to listening to any genre of music, because it's just amazing.
yeah. Thank you.
It's therapeutic is what I say.
Yeah, I love the energy of that style. Like
Yep.
any music I've written's always been fast and whatnot. I think it's definitely a dying breed though. Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of fast skate punk bands left. Like you've got in Australia, for example, you'll have Friends of the Enemy from
Yep.
Gold Coast, us Hack the Mainframe from Newcastle. You've got Judo Chop and All Hope Remains from Melbourne.
Yep.
Fake News from Gold Coast. Dead Heat do a little bit. Like there's, you can sort of name like Knife.
Dead Heat. I've never heard of
Yeah,
that. What's that
like
band?
not
Dead Heat.
knife hands.
Oh yeah. Oh, Knife Hand's top. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Like there's, you could name in a hand, like 2 hands,
Yeah.
the amount of that sort of bands left. Like there's still plenty of punk bands out there, don't get me wrong, but that
Yeah.
specific
Tone.
Fast style is definitely
Yeah.
on the downside. So,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
because I don't know why. It's because all of us are 40 odd, and it's
We're all
fucking
old.
hard.
We're
It's
old
fucking
pricks.
hard playing music that fast for 45 minutes or an hour. Like,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, when I was talking to Todd the other day from Propaganda,
Yep.
cause we met them a while back in Wellington, New Zealand, and we said to Geordie, oh, why don't you play your older stuff? He goes, oh fuck, that's too fast.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm fucking too old for that shit, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not any
but
easier.
no, and I think no one, no one what. So when we were young, the way that we found bands back then was TV.
Yeah.
What we did as kids and growing up, we sat in front, like if we were watching a music show or anything, that's what we did. There was nothing else apart from going surfing and catching waves and girls and whatever. But these days, they've got their head like my kids here. My kids are here in the same room. They're playing games. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing directed. There's no change in what they see unless they make that change, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. No, I agree.
yeah,
And I think one of the other ways when I was like, you'd walk into your CD shop and you would just buy the latest Epitaph sampler or Fat
yeah,
Record sampler or whatever,
yeah,
or you would just go to the punk section and go, oh, that band's on Fat Records, they must be all right. Like,
yeah,
that doesn't happen now. But I guess if you got Spotify, you'll get suggested songs and artists based off your,
yeah. Watch
and
the
you'll
old
find other,
algorithm.
yeah, or you can find like you'll find a, you type in skate punk playlist or whatever, and you'll find someone's made a playlist full of 30 bands, and you might find 10 you haven't heard of. Or
Yeah.
so I guess there's still ways around it, but it's definitely not like
Well,
just
it's
on
not.
your TV or like it used to be.
Well, it's not even on the radio. It's not even
No,
mainstream anymore. I mean, if you look at unwritten, let's just say the Living End, Green Day, Offspring, and all that, when we were young, were on the radio constantly.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and sure they're on there now, but they're classed as
yeah,
classic
dad rock or
rock,
some shit.
classic rock, and it's like, oh fuck,
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
we're old.
yeah.
uh,
Another lifetime ago.
Hey, what's a band to look out for in Australia at the moment? And you can't say Dead Heat because Watto's head would be this big.
um, oh, I've got a heap.
Yeah, go on.
I
Well,
think
well, for me, I like to know because then I'll go searching.
my two favorite bands in Australia would be Knife Hands
Yeah,
and
100%.
Friends of the Enemy from the Gold Coast.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
Friends
Who
of the
who
Enemy.
who's little as well? Like, say the main ones, but then tell me someone
Yep.
who I might not know.
Um,
Because Friends of the Enemy, they're insane. That you know, I've seen. The first time I come across them, I'd found fake news, and it seemed like fake news were always playing with Friends of the Enemy.
yeah,
Where they were like just like
yeah.
wherever they were just like holding hands.
We did a weekender over in Perth with Friends of the Enemy in 2018, I think it was.
Wow. Yeah.
We did 2 or 3 shows over there, and such a good weekend. So yeah, they're actually probably my favorite. Just their music and the really good people. Like when me and my wife and kids go on holidays to Queensland, we always meet up with Stu and Chelsea and their kids and have dinner and stuff. And
Yeah.
so them and Knife Hands probably my favorite. You've also got like there's a band called All Hope Remains who just signed with P. They
Yeah.
got a new album.
Who I just released their new song last night on the podcast.
Yeah, sweet. There you go. So
Yep.
I mean they're sort of on the. I mean they've been around a long time. It's weird to say on the up, but we
Yep.
also so last time we went to Perth in 2023, I think it was. We went over there with
so
them.
it's only last year.
It must be 2022.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We went over there with them. There's a band called Judo Chop from Melbourne.
I've heard of them before. Why have I heard of them?
Oh man, you don't know where to look. They've got 3 guitarists, ridiculously
3 guitarists.
talented. Yeah,
Wow.
three guitarists, and they all just shred.
Yeah.
Even the bass player shreds. All just amazing at their instruments. The singer's voice is top notch. Really good blokes. So they're
Yep.
from Melbourne. Judo
Yep.
Chop.
Nice.
There's a band called Without Fail from Tasmania who do a lot of stuff with Knife Hands.
Yeah.
We got some shows with them coming up our way in October. They're really
Nice.
good dudes. They're remind me a bit of Wilhelm Scream.
Oh, wicked. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I'll look up them as well.
they're quite good. Obviously my other band Hack the Mainframe, they're
I
probably not
I
a
did I did hear that you do
yeah.
play on them. So when did you join them? Have you been?
Yeah, that was about must have been about 4, maybe 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
I was just filling in for them for a while, and then they couldn't find another drummer, and
Sounds like everyone. It was like
yeah,
Todd from propaganda. Oh, I just started to fill in as bassist. you know,
yeah. Well,
you
they're
know,
just you can't find fast skate punk drummers in here
you
anymore.
can't.
So
And you're a dying breed. And I had a who did I had on here? I had Middle Out was a band from Detroit, and I asked Matt the drummer. I was like, was it Matt? Hang on. No, it was Dan, sorry. And I said, you're in so many bands. And he was
yeah,
like, well, there's only a handful of us
yeah,
that can play that sort of music.
yeah. So and then
So
there's
yeah,
probably
so you can sort of pick and choose. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play for you, I'm gonna play for you.
yeah, well, two bands is enough for me. I don't have
Yeah,
time for any
yeah,
more.
yeah,
I got another local band that's doing really well, a band called Out of Control. I got asked to join them as well, and I didn't have time, but we gig with them a lot. We
yeah,
just
cool.
took them to Queensland a couple of months ago. Speaking of Queenslanders, there's a band up there called Serial Killer Dinner Party, which we've been playing with them for years since we first started doing Queensland shows after we come back after that album, and they've really grown. Like watching them grow as a band's been fucking choice.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, they're pretty cool. So yeah, there's plenty of small bands out there that
Do
yeah
you ever
just
tour like do shows with both bands where you have to drum twice?
yeah yeah
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck, you must be fit.
I did a I did a we did a Queensland tour together a couple of years back, and we did Vinnie's on the Friday night. We did 4ZZZ at Brisbane during the day, and then we had a nighttime gig at Brisbane that night. So I
Whoa.
did 6 sets in 24 hours. I was pretty sore
Wow.
after that.
Wow.
And we
That's
did the odd
solid.
show here and there where I do back to back and that. So
That's crazy.
You'll find no words on here to save you as you spiral and free fall to a world with no control. Your tiny screen is full of lies, an actress in your made-up life, painted followers and lies. Just like a heroin hit, inject a new selfie fix. Your self-esteem climbs with your view count. You crave our sympathy, lights up your Insta feed, cry for attention into your device. The face filter, a race to pause, yeah, the sorrow in your eyes, the melancholy from your smile. You trick this all with the perfect light, whatever helps you sleep at night, addicted to the shares and invite. Just like a heroin hit, inject a new selfie fix. Your self-esteem climbs with your view count. You crave our sympathy, lights up your Insta feed, cry for attention into your device. There's no way out of here. You think you have it all. This is your life, your story. You spiral and free fall.
So what's touring and gigs you got coming up? You mentioned some in October.
yeah, we do in 3 weeks actually, I think it is. Yeah, 3 weeks we go up to we're doing a festival up near Agnes Water, like
Where's that?
mid-north Queensland, just north of Bundaberg,
Okay. Yep.
like 5 hours north of Brisbane.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Wow.
it's like the bloke who's doing it's called Tattered and Torn.
Tan torn.
It used to be around 10 years ago or something. And it
Yeah.
sort
Okay.
of went by the wayside. Now he's trying to bring it back. He does a South Coast New South Wales show and he does this North Queensland show. And basically, he's trying to make it like the old Warp Tours.
Oh,
So he's got
so
skateboard
good.
ramps and he's got
Yeah.
camping and he's got
Yeah.
outdoor stages and acoustic stages. And, we're playing it, Top Novel are playing it, Fake News are playing it. There's a band called the Woolston Butchers from Brisbane who are playing it.
I,
They're
th-
another
I, th-
great little band.
I think what I might have mentioned this to me. He's going, I've told you about this, you idiot.
Yeah, it should be a great day.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. We've got that in August.
Yeah.
And then in down our way in October, we've got a show at Woi Woi with Top Novel, Out of Control and Without Fail from Tasmania. And then the next day in Newcastle, we're doing a show. It's called Punk Rock Lawn Bowling.
Oh, nice. And are you actually at the lawn bowls?
Yeah, it's at a club with an
That's
old
so good.
with an old lawn bowl and green they're going to do for us, so we can
Oh,
get drunk and play some lawn bowls. And we're going to do that during the Arvo, so all kids can come and stuff. And then I'm going to have my 40th that night.
nice.
So
Yeah.
All Hope Remains are coming up from Melbourne for that, and
Oh, beautiful.
and Hack the Mainframe, Out of Control, Without Fail from Tasmania, and then me and Chris are going to do some acoustic stuff at the start of the day. So
Oh, that's insane.
and it should be a good day because a
It's
lot
your
of people
40th.
now, yeah, well that.
It's going to be a good day. You'll
But
be
like
singing at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, lucky I organised a minibus to come and take me and my family home. I think, but a lot of people these days our age have kids and stuff, right? You can't
Yeah, they
take
do.
them to a lot of gigs, so we wanted to make this
That's what
family friendly.
I find really hard because my son, I took him to a gig last week for probably it wasn't his first gig, but it was his first gig locally here because most gigs are played at the pub.
Yeah.
And he's only 14. And I took him to see, have you heard a band called Rat Salad?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So Rat Salad, they're my local band here, and they were
Yep.
playing. And as I said, I think last episode he was pretty bored, which is fine. But my kids are brought up on nothing, but they didn't know about the Wiggles. They had no
Yeah.
idea. Well, they did, but they didn't. All brought up on my music. When they jump in the car, it's my music. It's never been anything else. So that, like, my son, he fell in love with Green Day. Like, he absolutely loved Green Day. I don't know much about now, because he's got, his friends are all grown up, and they will find their own niche and what they like, and that's fine. I'm not going to push this genre of music at them at all. But when he was there, it's just like he didn't know any songs, and I think that was the main thing. But the problem here is that there's nothing that I can take him to apart from something like that, and that's very, very rare. It's always at a pub, and it's like, it's hard.
I think that's definitely one thing. Like you asked me before, how the music scene's changed. When I was growing up, there was heaps of all ages gigs.
Yep.
Like,
I can remember going here. I went to the PCYC and I saw I
Youth
Killed the Prom
centres.
Queen.
Yeah.
Behind Crimson Eyes, and there was another band, and it was mayhem. It was absolutely mayhem, and these little kids were throwing arms and kicking legs, and the story goes, Micka, that they actually stopped the concert because they didn't like everyone kicking and punching and which was shit. I'm like, it's a punk show. What the fuck do you expect?
We'll look after each other. Just let us go.
That's what I don't think they understand. If you go in a mosh pit, if you go down, man, there's about 50 hands trying to drag you up.
Yeah.
It's always a good community.
Yeah.
As brutal as it can be, it's us doing what we love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
I don't like how they say that they don't promote moshing. Well, you're not going to promote it, but we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then on the line of you were saying about the different like back in the day there was maybe 7 locations that were doing gigs, and now there's 3. I photographed a festival just the other week, and the organizer was telling me, he's like, man, it's so hard for us to fucking do this. They're just making it to the point where they don't want us to do it.
No.
They're just throwing insurance. You've got to abide by that. Like, there was probably, I reckon maybe, it wasn't a big, it was just like a DJ techno. It was actually really, really cool. I had a great time. Not my sort of scene, but I loved it. It was so much fun. And they had to have 2 ambulances there
Yeah.
for only 350 people.
Yeah, which is ridiculous,
Fucking
especially at a
stupid.
place where, like you said, people look after each other, right? Like
Yeah.
muso fans, and
Yep.
it's hard. You said it's not your scene. It's pretty hard to have a bad time when you're watching live music, right? Like,
Oh, it was incredible. There was one band there. I've explained it already, but there was like 8 people on stage. There was trumpet, there was saxophone, there was a keyboard bloody player with his thing, and there was bassist running around the crowd. And it was just the show that they did is
yeah,
exactly why I love
yeah,
live music. If that band's on there enjoying themselves, you're gonna love it no matter what.
yeah. And think of all the festivals that are come and gone by the wayside, like your big
Oh,
day outs and your sound
sound
waves and your
waves.
home bakes and your warp
Livid,
tour and
livid.
livid.
Oh,
Yeah,
livid was insane. I love that was my because when I was living on the Gold Coast for a while, and I went to Livid every year, and it was
yeah,
so good because they had a punk stage,
yeah,
and the punk stage was like just amazing punk bands. And then I think what screwed Livid was they tried to do a big day out, so
yeah,
they were only a Brisbane one, and then they went Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and I think they did that once, and
yeah.
that was it.
I saw livid festival in Sydney. It was the day
Yep.
I turned 18. So I had
Oh
my
wow.
18th birthday on the Saturday night, and then Livid was in Sydney on the Sunday.
Yep.
And we went down to it, and like it was the first time I saw Strung Out live. Um, there was Unwritten Law,
Yep.
there was I feel like $1 Short was there, maybe even some 41.
Yeah. Well.
Um, yeah, it was a sick day. It was in the Hordern Pavilion at Sydney, and but yeah, you're right. I don't remember it being around after that. So
No,
maybe that first year they tried to branch
I
out and
think
they
the
crashed.
first year they tried to branch, like do a big day out, that was it.
Yeah,
I think they just blew it. They blew their budget and went, well, we can't do that again.
yeah,
And but which was a shame because the first year I went, I think it was like Green Day, No Doubt, Millencolin, and then there in the punk stage there was like they were on the main stage, and then
yeah,
there was like Me First and Gimme Gimmes. There was Good Charlotte,
yeah,
Nerf Herder, H2O. There was
yeah,
just so many bands I grew up with, and I'm just like going, this is insane.
yeah,
And then it just, yeah, it died.
yeah.
Died.
And like Big Day Out used to have a couple of punk bands on every year, but
Always, yeah.
it was never like Livid or Warped or something. So
No, but Soundwave was pretty good. Soundwave
yeah,
was good.
yeah. I
Yeah.
used to like going to all their side shows too. Like I'd spend the week going to Sidewaves in Sydney, and I'd go and
Uh,
see, face to face on their side show with 4U Strong and whoever else at the Metro, and then I'd go and see fucking Lagwagon and whoever else at their side show. Like you just spend the whole week going to see little side shows as well. It
yeah,
was good.
yeah, and that's what like I think when I lived in Brizzy, sorry on the Gold Coast, there was always bands that were playing at Big Day Out. Were always playing because it was always on the Gold Coast there.
Yeah,
At, I think it was Parklands. I think it was called, and it was just the night before you would have just random bands just joining together. So I think one day I went, I saw Goldfinger. Was it Unwritten Law? I can't remember. And then there was another one. There was like I think it was The Live in the End and Unwritten Law. It was so just all these bands. I'm just like, oh, this is insane.
yeah. Is that the Playground? Was it called or something like that?
The Playroom. Are you talking about
Playroom. That's
Playroom?
it.
The Playroom.
Playroom.
So the Playroom used to be at Talabudra.
Tell it. Yeah.
That got pulled down just when I moved,
Yeah. Okay.
and then they moved it to Broadbeach
Yeah. It
upstairs.
was never the
And
same after it
never
moved though.
everyone. I never got to go to it when it was at Talabudra there, but it never had the same vibe. Like I think the first night I flew back because I went to Sydney first, and my first night when I actually moved here, the next night or the same night I saw no use for a name playing up at the Playroom in Broadbeach, and it was packed, but everyone was saying, "Oh, it's just not the same vibe as the
Yeah.
old Playroom." I just think they just got told to pull the old place down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
I
there's
saw,
like there's just not the venues anymore, as you were saying.
yeah.
Like I don't even know what's here anymore.
No, and you got a few places like Vinny's is set up really well for that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
in Perth, there's like we played at Convenience in Perth when we were over there last.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep.
Awesome venue. And we did one at there was another place over in Perth, and the inside was like a cave.
Ooh, okay.
Badlands Bar it was called, and you outside it just looked like a factory. It had spray painted walls and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And when you went into it, it was like you were in an underground cave, like there's shit hanging from the
Is,
ceiling. And
is that sort of like, you know, when the Beatles you see the Beatles first gig and it's like in a almost looks like a sewer. It's like a little room,
yeah, well, that's sort of
like cave.
when you're on stage, you looked out and you felt like you were 100 meters underground in a big
Yeah.
rock cave. Like,
Yeah, that's
so there are a few places around, and Brisbane's
Yeah.
got a few cool venues.
Yeah.
And Melbourne that are like actual music venues that are left,
Yeah.
but there's not as many as there was back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, and I'm going to see Les and Jake. I think it's October, and the venue they're playing at in Fremantle. I'm like, oh, I've never ever heard of it, and it was just
Yeah.
like I was like, I think it's called Freo Local or Social. I think it's Freo Social. It's called, and I'm like,
Okay.
oh, and it looks like a pub.
Yeah.
But when you see the back of it, it looks like a venue, like a big ass venue because Les and Jake's going to get a good crowd.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to go and it's just like, well, there are venues out there,
Yeah.
but whether I don't know how it works, how they find these little bloody little gems in little places like Freo. I'm like, okay, that's somewhere different than the Metro in Perth or somewhere like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess Freo has always had that music vibe about it too,
Yeah.
right?
So. Yeah. And talking about tours and shit, I suppose we got the good things. I suppose is that sort of smaller big day out sort of slowly building. But again, it's as me and my mate were saying the other day, because I'm looking at going to Brizzy this year.
Yeah.
And I was saying, he's like, well, what if it gets cancelled? Because touch wood.
Yeah.
We had Splendor in the Grass cancelled this year. I would probably never go, but that's like the biggest festival in Australia.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that never would have seen that coming.
No, because I thought it had already sold out.
I know it had been selling. I mean, surely they didn't cancel if it was sold out, but
yeah,
it was pretty sudden. It just sort of. I think there was another one just before it that got cancelled.
Oh, they're cancelling them left, right, and centre, and it's like, is it the same problem that my friend here had for that festival I just photographed, where they're going, no, right now you need to do A, B, C, and D, F, G to Z.
Well, not only that, but I think like festivals like Download and Good Things and other bigger festivals bringing bands from America and stuff.
Yeah,
travel costs now are so much more than they used to be 5 years ago. Like I just went on an overseas holiday. Not really the same thing, but still talking about overseas costs. Went to Fiji and the price had doubled in 5 years. Like, so I can only imagine what the cost has been like coming from America, like compared to what it used to be, and bringing over productions and all that sort of stuff and crew and whatnot. So.
Hello, B, is that you? It's me, Micka. Yeah. What are you doing? You want to hang out?
Walk right in, let's get this done. Grab a beer, I'll grab 2 runs. Pull up chairs, move the tables. Tell me your latest fables. Another run, where is your jack? Memories come flooding back. You check the time, I see your face. Your thoughts are of another place. Other place.
Hey, so when do you think we're going to hear some new music? Sorry, but let's get back to the band. We've just been talking about like gigs and shit, festivals,
Yeah, the good old days.
the good old days, mate.
Look, if we start putting them together next, we don't do it fast.
No,
We're pretty
a lot of
drawn out.
a lot of bands don't do it fast.
Well, especially because Darcy's doing it all himself, and he's, as I said, he works long shifts too. He works in one of the power stations up here.
Okay,
He's got 3 kids, young kids, a wife, busy boy. It just takes time. So,
Yep.
yeah, I wouldn't honestly be able to put a time frame to it. I think we'll definitely be sort of starting to piece it together early next year though.
Yep.
And because he's in the middle of mixing Judo Chop's next EP.
Oh wow. Yep. Cool.
So he'll get that out of the way, and then we'll probably have a weekend at my joint and start throwing our ideas down. And
Yep.
it won't be next year. We're looking to go back to Japan in 2026.
Yep.
It'd be nice to sort of think 2026, but yeah, I don't want to.
What
Honestly,
was Japan like? Was Japan huge?
Oh, amazing! It's
Yep.
The music is seen so different over there. Like they have
Yeah.
so many specialized venues for just music, and the PAs are all amazing, even though you're in tiny little rooms. And
Yeah.
we just sort of cruised around. We did 5 shows over there in little like 100, 150 cap venues.
Yep.
So yeah, about that 120, 100 people. Really good. Just really really supportive. To play in another country was wild. To see people who don't speak your language as their first language, like so many of them speak English as well, but not their first language. To see them like standing on the barrier singing every word, was
That's
just
insane, man.
crazy. Proper circle pits and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was good. So it'd be cool to have something ready to go for that. But when we did Fear and Loathing, we sort of really wanted to get it done in a certain time frame after Freedom, and obviously that blew out with COVID and
Yeah.
things like that. But when we sort of started writing for this one, we kind of said we don't want to put a time frame on it because, oh, excuse me. I think doing it ourselves, if you start pushing each other and you don't want to get like bickery and hurry up, man. Like you just,
We're waiting on you.
Yeah. You got to remember that you're mates and you're in a band together first. So I guess we just want to let it happen naturally a bit. But yeah, it'll come. There was a time there I wasn't sure there was going to be a third album, not because
okay, just life in general.
Yeah, just life in general. And as I said, Darcy's pretty busy, and it took a lot out of him. Not that the band was going to finish. I just thought we'd record that and then keep
just
playing shows and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, then all of a sudden someone messages and says I've got a song, and you're like, oh, well, here we go again. So,
just put the little spark in there and
yeah,
happens, and then everyone sort of jumps on and goes, oh, hang on a sec.
Yeah, pretty. That's pretty much how it goes. So yeah,
but that's, I suppose, inspiring as well.
Yeah, it is.
It just needs that one little spark, and everyone sort of jumps and goes, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
All right, I've got this little bit. Hey, should we start doing this? But that's awesome though, eh?
Yeah, I think that's why we did the No Frills thing. Like, we released that early this year, and that kept me busy. I sort of compiled all that and got all the old songs together, and spoke to the guys about which songs we wanted on there, and got some stuff remixed, and then Darcy sort of helped me piece it all together, and so I think that sort of bought us a bit of time and got us a bit keen again, and so we'll start next year and see how we go.
Yeah, well, Micka, I've absolutely loved listening to you guys. I've as I said, I went through it all. I listened to album after album, and
nice. And thank you.
As a massive step from when you started. Well, your first one, and and just the quality.
Yeah,
and the energy for me, as I said, I'm smiling.
Yeah, cool.
And that's what I love about this music. Is just the energy, and as what I said, you sounded like thunder. or something.
that's pretty cool. I'll have
Live.
to, I'll have to buy him a beer next time I see him.
Don't fucking buy him a beer. He's a tight ass anyway. But I'm really hoping that I'll actually get to see you guys at some stage. I always talk about these little festivals that I'm going to start. I'm kidding. No, I should check my lotto ticket in like half an hour.
Yeah.
But definitely a band that I'm going to be following and listening and sharing to a lot of my friends. It's great to come across a band like you guys that I know so many people are just going to be frothing.
Yeah.
Once they hear
Well,
this podcast.
thanks, man. And like as I said, we've been to Perth twice already. I got some really good contacts over there.
Yep.
We do shows with Blind Spot, and obviously
Nice.
we're mates with the Decline and stuff. Lee from Breaking Punk has taken us over there twice. So I mean, I know the boys love Perth, so I got no doubt we'll be back.
Yeah, nice.
We were meant to be going to Tasmania early next year, but that's been put on the back burner a little bit. It'll still be next year. I'm just not sure when. So maybe when we get Tassie out of the way, usually when we go to Perth, it's in October. They do a Punktoberfest over there.
Yeah, I have heard of that. Yep.
So we'll usually tie it in with that. So maybe October next year. We'll see how we go.
Hey, baby. You laying out?
Hey Micah, we have to go out on this podcast with two questions, and the first one is because I am a baker.
Yeah.
What is your favorite bakery product?
Oh, you know what I miss?
Oh, you missed, so they're not there anymore.
I haven't been able to find one
Okay.
for fucking so long. Used to be able to buy them from Woolworths. Those pecan danishes,
Oh, okay, yeah,
the custard with the cream on top. Like
yeah.
never see them anymore. I used to love them, and I'd forgotten about them for so long. And then one day I was like, I'm gonna go get one, and then they
Wasn't
just
there?
don't make them anymore.
Because you,
I'm
because you don't buy them, they don't supply
yeah.
them anymore. I was like, no one's buying them.
Probably, but I don't eat a lot of sweets and stuff. I'm pretty basic. Like I love just chocolate mud cake and things like
Yep.
that. If I'm on the bakery side where it's like pies and stuff, I love a good pepper steak pie or
Oh, pepper steak, that's
um
nice. That's good.
yeah my missus is big on vanilla slice.
Oh, does
Um
she does she does she like it with pink or white icing?
Pink.
Oh, see, traditionally it's meant to be white,
Yeah, well
and I haven't heard many people tell me that it's pink. And at
well
my
I
at my bakery, it's pink.
I don't think she'd be very fussy, but I from memory the ones that she tells me she likes the most have always seemed to be pink. So yeah.
Nice, nice. So you got a good variety: croissant, pie,
Yeah.
mud cake.
Yeah, mud cake.
Fantastic. Hey, this has been fantastic. I've just loved how you've explained the band, and we've chatted about bloody festivals and shit. I love that shit. They're bloody good times, and it's a
Yeah.
shame that we don't have sound waves or big day outs or livids anymore. It's disappointing.
No, and I think, but the goodness out of that is you will find little festivals like this Tattered and Torn that we're going to do this month, and
Yep.
the Where We Belong one we did up at Brisbane in May. You'll find those little niche festivals that'll start popping up that obviously aren't going to be as big as your big festivals used to
Yep.
be, but the same sort of experience on a smaller scale.
Yep. And I think that's the hard part that I always say here in West Australia is that unfortunately we don't get anything like that anymore.
You are a long way away, man. It's
Fucking
a
miles away, mate.
5.5 hour plane flight
I
from
know.
fucking Sydney. I
It's
can go to
just
Fiji or New
New
Zealand in less
Zealand.
time than that.
Oh, you can
Like,
go to New Zealand from there from what is it like 3 hours? It'd be 3 hours from Sydney, would it? Two
yeah,
and a
it's
half?
about that. Yeah. Well, we went to Fiji in 3:20. I think last year when we went to New Zealand, it was around the 3 mark,
Yeah.
maybe just under. But obviously, it's longer coming back because of the
Yeah. You got
the
to.
tailwind you're going over against. But
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. It's
it's
a
Perth.
long way to come.
Yeah, but it's so fun. Like no pokies over there in the pubs and stuff,
Nope.
right?
No
So
pokies. There's no gambling in the pubs, which
so
is
we find that like we went down to the both times we've gone over there, we've gone down to Bunbury on the
yep.
Friday night and played the Prince.
See,
And they
everyone goes down south because I'm north. Because I'm 4 hours north.
yeah, right.
So I'm in Geraldton, which is, and we don't we don't we our music thing here. If there's a band playing, we don't know about it.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately.
We just obviously get it organised for us and we went we
Yep.
went to the Prince and they give you a room and they give you food and
Oh,
drinks
that's
and
good.
everyone in the pub is watching the band because there's no pokies or there's no like
That's right.
in New South Wales it's not like that. You got to try and drag people out to the band room that's out the back and they're too busy watching the TAB or playing the pokies
Yeah.
or
But I mean,
yeah.
at pubs here they do have TABs,
Yeah, right. But just
but
not
just not the
pokies and
pokies. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So they got to get entertainment in to generate cash for them and make people want to go there, I guess. So
Pretty much, yeah. But
yeah.
as I said, the bands not many bands come up this far because they're all promoted down south.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is a
right.
shame. I mean, we're only 4 hours north. It's not that far. Walk in the
No, you
park, mate.
just do that in a bit of a day trip.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Hey, me and Micah, what song would you like to go out on? What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song to play?
Oh,
Come on.
off the new album.
You can choose whatever, as long as I can play it.
Um, I'm most proud of either For You Are a Witch and Witches Shall Burn off Fear and Loathing or A Band
Yeah.
and Chip off Freedom.
Oh,
Either of those
nice.
two.
Yeah, nice.
I'm proud
Nice.
of both of them.
Yeah, I was when I was listening to was it 100 meters? Is that the
Yep.
one? Is that the one with the phone at the start?
I know. One by one.
Is that one by one?
Yep, that's a good song too.
Yeah, that's sick. And I was like, oh, I thought someone had interrupted me. I'm looking around.
Yeah, yeah, that was. We weren't sure if that idea was going to work, but when we
Yeah, that's
did it, I
cool.
was like, "Yep, that's cool. Let's keep
Yeah,
it."
yeah, it's wicked. Oh yeah. That's yeah, it's off the latest album.
Yeah.
Hey, Micah, this has been fantastic, and thanks for coming on for a chat. It's been great.
No, man. Thanks for having me.
And
I've
I hope
had a blast.
and I hope we do catch up because I'm a rum drinker,
Yes.
and I'll shout you a rum if you don't like rum, then bad luck.
No,
I'll drink it.
I love me pipe rum. I when I come back from Fiji, I bought a bottle of the Fiji Bardi spiced rum.
Oh yeah, was it all good?
So good because I
Yeah.
drink a lot of Sailor Jerry's or Captain Morgan.
Yeah,
And
I'm either a captain. See, I'm more a Jamaican rum.
yeah,
Yep. So I love me. What am I drinking at the moment? I don't mind. Like I'm drinking Captain Morgan at the moment,
yeah,
but I love my Appleton.
yeah, yeah,
But it has to be the 12-year. Again, fancy pantsy, but it has to be the 12-year because it doesn't taste. That's what I was brought up on, that sort of taste.
yeah.
But I can't get the rum that I grew up with in New Zealand. I can't get that in Australia anymore since COVID.
Yeah, I when I was in New Zealand last year, when we went to the airport, I got a bottle of
Karuba.
no, it was
Okay.
something heart,
Oh, Red Heart.
yeah,
Oh
something
no,
like that.
Blackheart. No, it'd be Blackheart.
Yeah, something heart,
Yeah.
rum, and because usually if I go overseas, I'll get a bottle of their local rum or something. So
Yeah. I just to
it was
trial
really
it.
nice. Yeah, yeah,
It's not too bad. I actually got given a carton of that by the sales rep when I was about 18.
yeah,
Because I was drinking our local rum, which is Karuba, which is a Jamaican rum. And he said, I'll give you a carton if you stop drinking that and you drink my stuff. So he gave me a carton, and I just left it at the pub because the pubs when I was young, I was in a little town. I'd walk in the bar, and the rum would be on the bar by the time I got to the
yeah,
pub.
yeah,
You
yep,
know, and so I just left it. Then I just I just got free drinks until it was gone. We just counted, and unfortunately, I went back to my old rum, and then the sales rep rocked up one day, and I'm drinking the rum he told me not to drink. I was like, oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, they didn't have any, I don't
yeah.
think. Well, they haven't, I sort of tried to make some excuse up, but he gave me a dirty look anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
him.
I love me pipe rum. Me and
Good on you.
Paul rip into it a fair bit.
Yeah, but you can't drink the Bundy.
Nah, it's
Oh,
completely different shit.
it's such shit in it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was
Sorry, Australians.
when I was young
Yeah.
and starting to drink. I used to, you start beers and went Jim Beam and stuff, and then I tried Bundaberg rum, and I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah,
And then
shit.
forever, I thought that's what
Rum tastes
rum
like?
tastes like.
Yeah.
And then, well, it wasn't even that long ago. I don't know. Oh, it probably was a while ago now, 10 years or more. But anyway, a long time later into my drinking career,
Yeah.
someone went, oh, have a spice rum. And I was like, no, I don't drink rum, like Bundy rum shit. And they're like, no, 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 no.
No, no.
Spice rum's nothing like Bundaberg rum. I was like, what? And I tried it, and I think it was, it might have been Captain Morgan. I don't think it was Sailor Jerry's. I think it was Captain Morgan. And I was like, oh, wow. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. This is so different.
So different.
Yeah.
So different. And I
And
just
since
wish.
then, I've been hooked.
Yeah, and I wish so many people more like distillers, especially around here. We've got a couple around here, and they're almost virgin on the Bundy.
Yeah, we do. Well, there's a little Newcastle brewery that do one called Sparrow Jack
Yeah, okay.
because of the near Hunter Valley, like all the vineyards and stuff. Right, we've actually got distillers. It's called
Yeah, okay, yep.
Newcastle Distillery or something co, and they actually do one called Jack Sparrow or
Oh, cool.
Sparrow Jack Spice Rum.
Yeah, nice.
It's mint as well. It's really
Yeah.
good. So if
I'll
I come to
have
Perth, I'll
you bring me a bottle.
Yep, I'll bring you a
All right,
bottle.
yeah, you message me when you know if he's going to play because
Yeah.
I'll make sure I make the trip.
The distillery is like, because I live near the back of the vineyard, so it's probably 5 minutes drive from my house. I'll bring you a bottle of the Sparrow Jack.
Do that. Hey, Mika, this has been fantastic. Thanks for your time. This has been episode number, I think it's 54.
Yeah, nice. Getting up there.
Here. It has. Yeah, it's getting there slowly.
Yeah.
Here.
Well,
on the Bakers Punk Podcast.
It's 'cause